Hello, Vanessa from Pilates in Parramatta and Samantha here. We're just going to do a very quick little interlude of the feet exercises. The clients that come to our studio are used to doing feet exercises. They're very good because most of us spend all day in shoes, and so the muscles in our feet don't get to remind themselves that they can work the toes almost independently. They're also extremely good for people who are dancers or gymnasts and that sort of thing, who want to accentuate the point in their foot and to strengthen their ankles to make themselves more stable on what's called a demi point, or even on a full point if you're dancing. They're very good for all these sorts of things. For people who have feet problems, these are very, very good exercises, but do make sure you go into the stretches very, very carefully, because if you overstretch them, it can be quite painful, because very few people stretch their feet at all. Samantha's going to be doing the front-on version. I'm going to be showing you the side-on version so that you get a combination and you can see what's going on. If necessary, get yourself a little handheld mirror and put it under the chair and that sort of thing, so you can see the shape of your foot is making with these things. All right? So the first one is a top of the foot stretch. It's a stretch that happens through here. Now, if you're quite flexible, you will feel the first one right up to the side of the leg, almost to the knee. There's a little bone that sticks out there, a little knob on the bone. You may feel it all the way up there, in which case you're quite flexible and things are looking good. If you're getting these ones in the toes, across the top of the knuckles of the toes, it means you are incredibly tight and you really need to do these stretches. So it's a top of the foot stretch, but it can be anywhere from the toes all the way up to the knee. All right, so the first one, I'm going to get Samantha to tuck her foot underneath her. That's it. So it's just resting on the top of the foot. She's not pointing, she's not using any muscle at all. This is quite a lazy position to be in. Now, as you can see, Samantha hasn't got the foot in line with her crutch, so I'm just going to get her to move it over a bit so it's in line with the crutch. The knee is pointing dead forward. Now, what I'm going to get her to do for dancers, it's called a sickle. She's going on the outer edge of her foot, and then she's going to use the strength in her leg to push forward and down, almost like she's scooping around the corner. You getting any stretch? Okay, so I'm going to do the side-on version so you can see what it's like. I hope you can see between all bits. I'll bring this a bit further forward so that you can see it. The more flexible you are, the further forward you can come. So we want these knuckles tucked under, so not just end knuckle of the toe, but the actual whole toe itself. Tucked under, and then you let your ankle drop out, and then you're pushing forward so that you're pushing this curve forward to get the stretch. The further out on the little toe you go, the further out the stretch will come. All right, and we're just going to hold it. Now, there's no breathing for this, as in you don't have to breathe in, do this, breathe out, do the other. But if you stop breathing, you're going to be stuck here for a while. So it's at least 6 breaths. If you can take it to 10, that would be really good. So proper breaths, you may as well be doing a stomach muscle workout at the same time. Posture nice and tall, make sure you're straight through this back. Don't do this, don't do this. In between, nice and straight, holding yourself, pushing around that corner. Okay, I'll hold it for 2 more breaths because Samantha's been breathing.
No, I've just been holding my breath the entire time.
Proper breathing, Pilates breathing. So in through the nose and then get right out so you can feel your stomach working. Now, when you go to come out of it, you're going to want to pull your foot back. Don't. Just lift your foot, place it on the floor, and then you tuck the other one. You'll notice that both of us have got padding under the knuckles. My toes, because of all the years of dancing that I've done, are pretty, I can do them like this. It's not really an issue. And in fact, I might do them like that so that you can see it better, what's going on. But for other people who are not used to roughing their feet up, this position can be quite painful on the knuckles of the toes, especially if they're very tight across the toes. So pushing forward and around the corner. So really trying to scoop so you can see the shape that my foot is making down there. Okay? As I said, the more flexible you are, the further you come forward. But you don't want to be in this shape. You don't want to be there. Okay? This part of your ankle needs to come forward, and you need your knuckles of your toes underneath you. All right? So just holding that position, I'll keep my other foot out of the way so you can see what's going on. Alright. Now sometimes if I haven't done this stretch for a while, I do get it in that part of my ankle there. Alright, but after I've held it for a little while, it comes right up to the top and I don't have any problem with it at all. For people who are not used to doing this, you'll probably find this works quite a strong stretch relatively intensely. Alright, now the same with this foot. When you come out of it, just pick up and place. Alright, back to the first leg. Again, line it up with your crutch, and this time we're going to be on the big toe. So I need the ankle in and then pressing down hard through this part of the foot here. Alright, so ankle in and pushing forward so that you're really working through this part of the foot. Notice my calf muscle is completely floppy. I'm not trying to hold this position. This is a relaxed position. Up here is working to push forward, but that's all that's working, apart from the stomach, of course, which is always working. And your posture, and your breath, and your shoulders are down.
And everything else
going.
and everything else that you'll start picking up on.
That's it. Now, as you do these, some people will feel that maybe the little toe, which is what we were over to begin with, was not as tight, or the big toe was not as tight. I personally find on my left foot, my second and third toe are tighter. So if I let my foot go out just a little bit and push through there, I get a bit more stretch. I wait for that to let go a bit, and then I come back to the big toe and press on that. So you can play around with this position until you get the stretch in the position that you wanted. If you're starting to feel it through here, just means you're holding it really, really well. You're getting a lot leg workout at the same time. It's all good. Alright. You want to aim to go almost white through there, through your feet, so that you're going really strong. Alright, and pick it up and just place it. Don't arch the toes back. Alright, other foot, I'll get my foot out of the way. Tuck it under, make sure it's directly in line with your crutch. Pushing forward and get that ankle in. Alright, can you show slightly wrong ankle, Samantha? Yeah. Alright, now when you bring it in, make sure it stays forward. Don't bring it in and back. Make sure it stays forward. Get my foot out of the way. Pressing forward. So that you can see, again, you're working a roundness through there. You don't want to be back here, and you certainly don't want to be, let me see if I can do it, there. No. There. You want your toes pushed, tucked under, okay? Yeah, and just holding that position, breathing. Feel your thigh having to work. Again, this muscle is really relaxed. I'm not using any muscle to hold this position. This is a stretch. If I did switch on, and you'll see my calf muscle, watch my calf muscle. As I switch on, the calf engages. Chances are you're going to cramp, okay, just because of the length of time you're holding it, all right? Make sure that you're just letting it sit there, okay? Couple more breaths. Pull the ankle back in again. Yours has gone for a bit of a walk. Yeah, that's it. And lift and place. All right, the next exercise we're going to do is called doming. Actually, you can probably do it with the same towel. Move your towel out of the way. Feet up and down. All right, now this is a microfiber towel, so one of the really thin ones, and that's what you're looking towards doing with these. This exercise is called doming. If you were to do it with your hand, it's the same as lifting your knuckles, but keeping your fingers nice and straight. So you're going to lift your knuckles, then pull it in and down. So it's like a snake almost, all right? So start with the toes spread and flat, as far down on the towel as possible. Actually, we're going to have to, yeah, otherwise when I pull it in, I'll pull it out from underneath your foot. All right, so toes flatten down. Now, you're going to lift this knuckle of your foot, so still on the foot, not in the toes itself. And in doing so, you're going to try and keep all your toes on the ground. And you'll pull up through the arch. Make sure the big toe tries to stay. Keep pulling, you will curl it under and you'll lift the towel. Then let it go and put your foot back down. Now, straight, no, lift that ball of the foot, keeping the toes straight. Then tuck it in and lift and place.
I'm trying to get the placement.
The placement's hard once you've got some crinkles of towel, but that crinkles of towel just mean you're doing it right. Lift the ball of the foot, scrunch it under, lift and down. Lift the ball of the foot, scrunch it under, lift and down. I'm just going to move the towel out so you can still see the movement. And ball of the foot, lift it, so make sure your toes are nice and flat. You've got to go through this position before you start tucking the toes under. Okay? It's like you want to grab the biggest, I was going to say handful, footful of towel that you can with your toes.
It's not going to be a lot, by the way. Unfortunately.
And lift and back down. Spread the toes and flatten them off as you put them down. And then lifting the ball of the foot, try and keep the big toe down as well. Make sure the big toe's working. When you get this working properly, you'll feel the arch of the foot and underneath the toes working really nicely. 3 more. This is a slow motion thing. If you start doing it in fast motion, you'll cheat. You know what it's like. Make the big toe work, big toe, big toe. Yeah. And down, spreading as you go down, and big toe, big toe, big toe, big toe. Lift those knuckles. That's it. Make sure the little toe is playing as well. Lift the ball of the foot, big toe down, little toe still trying to hold down, and then lift the light and down. All right, other foot. Okay, so flatten the toes right off to begin with. You'll notice my foot's quite far forward. I'm not trying to do this in here, it won't work. Okay, so heel underneath the knee. Toes flat, now lift, keep that big toe down. And out, and spread as you put it down. And lift the knuckles, scrunch it in, pick it up, and put it down. And lift the knuckles, scrunch it in, pick it up, put it down. Stomach's on, of course. Big toe down, and up and down. You're trying to keep your tips of your toes on the floor, or even the flats of your toes on the floor for as long as you possibly can. Yeah. Get your big toe to work.
It's trying. There we go.
Yeah. This is brilliant for dancers. This exercise gets those muscles in your feet working so strongly. It really improves your point, particularly after you've done that stretch to begin with. So really work on that big toe. It gives you wonderful strength through the toes. Big toe. Big toe.
Just don't do that.
3 more. Samantha's talking to a big toe at the moment. She's got a big toe, stay down, big toe.
You are.
Yeah, I am too.
You're talking to my own toe.
In it comes. The more mobile you have your feet, you'll be surprised how easy and light walking feels after you've done that. It's a really lovely exercise. Make a good big toe. This is the last one. Yeah. And down. All right. Now we're going to do the feet exercises. We'll just move that what are they called? Chairs out of the way. Grab your towel, go that way. So you're front on, I'm side on. We're not sitting on a mat because on a mat it tends to squeak and moan and do all sorts of weird and wonderful things. Now, Samantha's going to show you the sole of the foot version, so how the alignment sits. So she's going to make sure that she keeps her foot in line with her crutch and the toe in line with the big toe. The other leg can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be anywhere in particular. You can bend, no, the knee is not allowed to do that. You can bend the knee in the other way. Starting with the foot flexed all the way back, spread the toes, get them as wide as you can. Now, that same doming action, try and slide your heel towards you, ball of the foot forward, but keep those toes nice and long, and the angle has got to be dead straight. This side of your foot will stick out a bit, and that's fine. Now, reach the toes over, just like you were doming then, take it round into a scrunch, then release through straight toes, up, and then flex the foot. Good. Check your alignment. And spreading the toes, down they go. Then reach the toes over. Try and get your big toe as low as your little toe. Undo the toes, nice and straight, and undo the whole foot. Now, if you hear either of us actually crack in the middle of this, clicking and popping and all the rest of it is not a problem. It's just our ankles. It might even be our toes at some stage. Believe me, if it's loud enough for you to hear, it's our ankle. Okay? Now this other leg, I don't care what you do with it. You can sit with it like this. It can be out to the side. Okay? It's actually quite comfortable to sit with it like this if you want to. You can lean up against a wall or a box, something like that. Again, no set breath for this movement. However, you will find that you will hold your breath. So try and make sure you keep breathing the whole time.
Because concentration is
The concentration, yeah. Concentration is amazing to try and get your foot to stay on the right angle. Get the toes as long as possible as they're going down. You want to feel like you're pressing something away from you, and then tips of your toes pushing something down, and then slowly back and back up. 2 more. And press the ball of the foot away from you. Now get the tips of your toes to push something as far away from you as you can. And then undo and undo. And last one, down we go. Make sure the spread, reach it over. Your toes will come together when they reach over, that's fine. Make sure you get the spread back. And back. All right, other side.
You will notice your hands trying to help.
Yeah,
That's fine.
The finger will help spread the little toe, that's fine. All right, so check your alignment. Make sure your foot's in line with your crutch. Foot back. Spread the toes.
That was just a little loud, Mum.
And ball of the foot down first. And reach the toes out and over. And then undo the toes and undo the foot. And ball of the foot. Now, tips of the toes as far away from you as you can go. Undo the toes and undo the foot. You will feel your calf working with these. You will feel your soleus, which is a muscle down here, working really, really well. If you've got the line straight on this side, in other words, if the outside of your little toe sticking out to the side a little bit, you'll find that the outside of your leg will work as well, and that's perfect. They're part of your stabilizers. They stop you going over on your ankles and things like that, so very, very important.
And your arch will definitely work.
Your arch will work if you're trying to reach the toes out. Now, for those people who end up cramping, never ever work this exercise to a cramp, okay? If you feel a cramp coming on, you back off. You pretend you've done it correctly all the way to the end, and you back off just before that cramp hits, and come out of it, and then go into the next one. And as you do the set, you'll find that that cramp will move further and further away. If you let it cramp each time, you're teaching it to cramp, and it will cramp beautifully every single time. I've lost count on this side, that's not like me. 2 more. If you ever lose count, just do 2 more.
As long as it's not 3. If you lose count at 3, then there's
Reach
something
it
wrong.
over. Just check you're still reaching. And back. Last one. And ball of the foot, make it a good one. Stretch it out. Get your big toe down as far as your little toe. And up. And back. Okay, back to the first leg again. We're going to do the diamond. So, starting with the foot flexed, imagine you've got a 2-carat diamond sitting there, and you're going to grab hold of it with your toes. All right, so making a fist. Now, you try and keep the fist on the way down. Your toes will try and stretch out, but you're trying to not let them. So, slowly taking that fist down Again, you'll feel the arch of the foot working. Now pull that fist back in again as if you're grabbing hold of it. So you haven't let it go. When you get to the top, undo and pull them back. Like really stretch it to unwind it. And next diamond, grab the fist. Make sure all the toes are fisting. And down you go. That's it. Check the alignment. Re-pull it in every single toe if you can. And stretch it out and spread at the top. Good. Keep going. Next diamond. Fist. Hang on with all those toes. Down you go. Pull it back in and stretch it out. That's it. Next one. Fist. And down you go. Good. And pull it back. Fisting. And back up. All right, now watch. When I do the fist, my foot's not moving. It's just my toes. I'm hanging on as hard as I can before I start moving. If you move too quickly, you'll have lost the intensity in the exercise. So make sure you're really working that fist. Okay, every time you make the fist, check, is every toe doing it? Samantha's having trouble with her toes.
My toes are doing whatever they want.
That's it, and up. All right, fist, check, big toe, second toe, next toe, little toe, down you go. And back up, pull it in.
Two of my toes like
And
to
back
fight.
up. And fist, and down you go. Same with this one. If you cramp during this one, you only go as far as you can. Don't go into cramp every time. So if you need to just do that and back up again, then that's all you do, okay? Fisting, down you go. Keeping it back. You'll notice our heels are staying on the floor. We don't want to do this. We're not working up here. We're working from the knee down. That's it. And back. All right. Let the toes come back. Other foot. All right, foot all the way back. Check your alignment, make sure it's in front of your crutch. Check your Samantha, it's out to the side of it. Yeah, that's it. And fist, no, fist. Whoa, those toes don't want to do it, do they? And down you go.
Ooh, at least my left side was more tamed.
And pull it in and release at the top. And fist, check them all. And pull it in and back. Now what this exercise is doing is strengthening the arch of the foot really strongly.
Thank you.
Okay, so for those of you who have dropped arches, really good. For those of you who are dancers, brilliant. The strength you get in your demi point and your point will be brilliant. Okay?
I did not want to do it at all.
Okay, think of grabbing something with your toes.
My big toe was...
Scrunch. Yes. And scrunch.
Go for it.
That's it. So you should be feeling this under here. You will feel it in your calf as well. They're part of the muscles that help move the foot. But the actual fist part and trying to hold the fist, you should be feeling under the arch working. Two more, because Samantha's in slow motion. Make sure your shoulders are down. Yes, Samantha. Check your posture, darling. Concentrating way too hard. One more for luck. And down we go.
My toes don't want to grab onto anything.
Okay, now, after you've done all those exercises, they're strong for under here. As long as you pull back on each of the returns, it will do a bit of a stretch. But for those of you who feel your feet need a little bit more of a stretch, as long as your knees are all right, you can do it this way. Otherwise, do it the way Samantha was just doing it. So just grabbing hold of your toes and pulling back. Okay, for me, I grab hold and I push over. So I'm on that kind of an angle with my foot. I'm trying to keep this down. It won't. I'm pushing over so far. And then what I do is making sure the little toe's flat. You go out on the little toe first, get a bit of a stretch there, and then roll your ankle in so that you're getting the stretches on all the toes. For me, the big toe needs the most amount of stretch, so I'm going to stay in that position for a little while.
And what I'm doing is I'm doing one of those foregrip ones on my palm of my hand. Winging my little toe, it does stretch through just under the ball of the foot.
That's it.
And the toes as well, because it's just stretching out the muscle there.
And then make sure you're over the big toe. Give it a good stretch as well. That's it. I don't know if you can see, but I'm pushing this one nice and hard. I've actually gone yellow there, where the skin is actually really pushing as well, and that's fine. Okay. Other foot.
You literally look like you have no blood running into your feet.
Other foot. This foot on me doesn't go as far. The little toes still do, so I'm still going all the way out on the little toe. Okay, my angle is right out there, like that. Get the towel flat so you can see what's going on. There you go. And then I'm going to slowly bring it in so that I get each toe in succession. And for me, again, it's the big toe that needs it the most on this side. So really pressing into that big toe side of the foot. The other thing you can do, and I'll just get Samantha to do it, is legs out in front of you, Samantha. Grab hold of your feet over the top with your heel of your hand and your toes. Yeah, that's it. And then pull back and down.
You get a calf stretch.
You get a calf stretch at the same time, yeah. Okay. All right, that's it. Feet exercises. Enjoy. The first stretch that we did, the top of the foot stretch, you can do anytime you're sitting down, so no excuse if you're working from home. You don't need shoes on anyway. Slip them off and do your top of the foot stretches underneath your chair. They work best if you have a chair that's got a gap under it. Okay, if it comes straight down like this, like the boxes at the studio, you'll find that you won't be able to tuck your foot in, and if you come too far forward, you won't get the stretch as well. Okay, you'll have that funny knuckle position instead of the pushing knuckle. All right, thank you, Samantha. See you next time.